to a fork in the road, stuck in the middle, trying to find all the answers to all the life's riddles. Come to a fork in the road, stuck in the middle, trying to find all the answers to all the life's riddles.
What's good, people? Back with another video, so you know it's that time. Let you know what's on my mind. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check out the other videos when you got time. In today's video, I'm gonna tell you like this: stop putting a microscope on the things that you feel like are negative about you, or the things that you feel like are your shortcomings, or the things that you would like to change. Stop putting a microscope on them, you know what I'm saying, in your own life. I'm gonna give you an example. I know everybody watching done did this to some extent before. You know, let's say for instance, if you cook the meal, right? You cooked your favorite meal, you know how to cook it to the T, you enjoy it, this your meal that you love to cook, and you know that you're good at cooking this meal, and you had a guest over to enjoy this meal. You taste it and be like, damn, I added too much salt to this time. But the other person, they tasting it and they tearing it up, they eating it up. They like, man, that's good. But in your mind, you might say, man, you know what I'm saying, to me, man, that shit was too salty, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, it's because you, in your mind, you know what you used to in your mind. You putting a microscope on a small mistake that you made, that, you know, that you feel like you made, but this other person don't even recognize it. Man, another example is like what we be doing is like, we'll point out the most minute flaws. That's pretty much what I mean. Like, you putting a microscope on the smallest things that you feel like is a flaw, but it's not. So just say for instance, I'm making a video, I get on here and say, all right, you know, go into my spiel and everything, and I say, all right, people, excuse the wrinkle right here on this backdrop, you know, but we gonna continue. And it's like, you might be watching it and be like, wrinkle? I ain't even noticed no wrinkle in the backdrop. But I brought that to your attention, so now you looking for a damn wrinkle in the backdrop instead of paying attention to what I'm saying. I don't threw you off and threw a whole negative thing in your head, and to now, you know, you might be consciously looking for wrinkles in my damn backdrop now. And that's the way that you end up manifesting situations that you don't want by speaking them into existence. You know, that's just the way that you do that. That's the way that it can happen, you know. But aside from that, you point out the smallest flaws about yourself that other people ain't even noticed. You know what I'm saying? So why self-analyzation is important and it's key, and you need to do it. You also need to know what is not important. You know what I'm saying? Focus on those things that you can change, that can make you greater, but don't be so hard on yourself. You know, that's how people end up becoming bulimic and stuff like that. I know, like back in the 90s, like you used to have these models that used to eat and then throw up after every meal because they wanted to remain so small and tiny to be a model. It's just like, that's the way that things like that happen, because you can be looking at a model and not see no flaw in it, her presentation, but she know every single flaw, and you know, and you'll start pointing that out to other people. You know what I'm saying? That's unnecessary. You don't need to be so micro sensitive about yourself in that aspect, because that becomes unhealthy, you know. So find a balance between healthy self-analyzation and knowing what things that you are flawed within, but don't focus on them so much that they take your attention from the great things about you, and definitely don't focus on them so much so that you put them out on Front Street and it becomes a thing that you really have to end up dealing with, because you pointed it out all the time amongst people, and now they are looking at that flaw within you, and you might not even thought it was a flaw. You probably just thought it was a flaw in that very moment, but it's like, damn, moving forward, I ain't had no more wrinkles in my backdrop. Why people keep talking about wrinkles in my backdrop? That's the type of example of what I mean, man. Stop concentrating too hard when you're focusing on yourself, and learn how to have a healthy self-examination, you know, because there's a fine line between healthy self-examination and negative and unhealthy self-examination. So with that being said, man, that's today's video. If you enjoy the content, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check out the other videos. Link in the description for the teas if you're interested. Other than that, stay on your grind. Let nobody stop you. You don't need validation from nobody but yourself. And until next video, I'm up out of here. Peace, love, gone.
But either way the story goes, I bet you I'ma do it my way.